Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on the Empowerment Hour. You are tuned in on Kofifi FM 97.2 and I am Anita Mulibati. Today we'll be talking to Ms. Thozama on her journey of being a teacher at a special needs education. Please join us on this interesting topic and do not go anywhere because this is where we learn about teaching with a variety of disabilities. It can be intellectual, physical, mental, and we'll also learn more as we speak to Ms. Thozama. I'm Anita Mulibati, and stay tuned. Welcome back, and you are still tuned on Kofifi FM 97.2. It is the Empowerment Hour, and with me, I am with Ms. Thozama, who is here to talk about a special needs teacher's journey. Ms. Thozama, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, and we are really happy to have you today.
Thank you.
So we can talk about your journey. So before we get into what we are here for, just tell me a little bit about who is Thozama. Besides being a teacher, who are you?
Okay. Besides being a teacher, I'm a mother of two special little ones. Very quiet person, a creative at heart.
Yeah.
Very reserved, stay-at-home person.
Yeah.
Nothing too complicated, nothing out there or anything like that.
Okay. So let's talk about your career.
Yes.
Did you plan to be a teacher? You know, every little girl has a dream. When we grow up, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, and here you are, you're a teacher. Is it something that you wanted when you were growing up, like, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher, or you just found yourself?
Well, with the first question, I think I touched just a bit on being a creative at heart.
Okay.
Naturally, I am an artist, and I grew up as an artist and reading up a lot on different artists, going to art exhibitions and so forth. And I've always wanted to be an artist. So straight after high school, I went and studied fashion.
Oh.
So my first profession is being a fashion designer. Studied that, worked in the industry for a couple of years, did fashion shows, attended fashion shows, did SA Fashion Week and a whole lot of things in that arena.
Yeah.
Both parents, mom and dad, are both educators.
Okay.
And I think our family as a whole are naturally gifted as educators, as teachers.
Yeah.
My older brother has the same thing in him. My younger sister also had the same thing in her. So it's something that did run in the family.
Yeah.
I came to a point in my life where I needed to kind of settle down.
Yeah.
And the creative industry is very busy. It's very hectic. You're always out there, sometimes working 48 hours with no sleep and so forth. And naturally, this did not work any longer for the kind of life that I was starting to build.
Yeah.
And then I went into teaching and I enjoyed my studies and so forth. But one day I found myself at a church and somebody was interpreting.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is interesting, that looks good. It's something that I'd like to try.
Interpreting in a different language.
Interpreting in a different language. So we had deaf people within the congregation and somebody else was interpreting. And I thought, wow, this is something that I'd really like to do. And in fact, at that time, I had a flashback of when I was in primary school.
Yeah.
We had an assembly, and I suspect it was Deaf Awareness Month. I'm not sure, but I was much younger. And there was a deaf choir that came into school. From St. Vincent's School for the Deaf. And they came in and they were signing, just bringing us to an awareness that, hey, they are these kind of kids.
Yeah.
And I remember when I had that experience and thinking about what I saw in church amongst the congregants, I had that same feeling I had as a younger child. And I was like, okay, this is really good. It's something I'd like to know. And I approached the person who was interpreting, and that's when my journey began within South African Sign Language. And I started learning how to sign, started with my basics, the ABCs, and I was really eager to know this language. So I started learning it at around the age of 25, 26, around there. And yeah, it worked out for me really well. It really worked out for me.
So now you went to school, you studied, you became a teacher, right? Just take us through your teaching journey as a teacher and a little bit of your first year experience as a teacher from like from fashion and now you have to be a teacher. Just tell us like a little bit about that experience of change.
So straight after varsity doing my B.Ed in education, I went straight into a special school. So I had already made up my mind. And you know, when you're studying, you go for your teaching pracs, and I thought, let me give a school for the deaf a chance and see what it has in store for me. Only to find that I really enjoyed myself in that environment. I really enjoyed the kids there, and it was just a good fit for me. And straight after varsity, I went and taught in a school for the deaf at MCK Special School. And it had its own challenges. And luckily, because I am a creative, it forced me, it naturally came to me to think of creative ways to get the curriculum across to my learners. So there's a lot of strategies that I put in place to assist those learners in the way that I would want them to learn and gain the knowledge that I needed them to gain.
You coming into that at that age, is there something that the learners taught you? Something that you're also learning from the learners? And that builds you to be who you are today.
There's a lot that those learners taught me. And I think it's something that a lot of our viewers or a lot of people do not know of, that unfortunately we do have deaf learners, and when you go and study as an educator, you do not learn sign language. There's only a select few universities that offer sign language as a language. So you get into this space and you're kind of lost in a way. Remember, what you learn in a textbook sometimes does not apply practically.
Practically, yes.
So when I got there, I was like, hey, this is what I know. From varsity, I thought, I know sign language. And then when I got there, I was like, ooh, actually, there's so much more to learn. And one of the beautiful experiences I remember with my first class is they were very open, they were very loving, they were very interested to know who I am. And I would tell them that, hey, guys, how do you sign this word? How do I sign it? And they would show me the signs. Whenever I was stuck, those kids were really willing to tell me and show me and inform me of how you would sign it, how my facial expression should be, and so forth. So those learners taught me the bulk of the sign language that I know currently.
Interesting. So what were the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
One of them was that language barrier, but at least I had some sort of background and I was able to overcome that. One of the major barriers as well is for our learners to understand English. Sign language and English are completely different in terms of its structure, just like any other language. In your Zulu, you have your own rules, you have the semantics and the syntax that go with it. The same thing applies for sign language and English. Now, a deaf child knows what is expected and how to express themselves
Yeah.
and how to receive information
Yeah.
within sign language.
Yeah.
However, when it's in a written form
Yeah.
and it's in English, it becomes, the comprehension becomes
Yes,
difficult for them. They can read what's on paper,
Yeah.
but their comprehension was very difficult. And this actually inspired my research when I did my honors degree in inclusive education, where I was so passionate and I really wanted these kids to access information through reading. And my research was basically about an approach that we can use with the learners for a deaf learner to be able to read and comprehend the written language.
Oh, interesting indeed. Yeah, Ms. Thozama. Someone would think it's easy, and someone will think, no, I can do this, until you actually go into it, and now you had to continue with the journey. You are with ASD children. And it was a new thing to you, working with children that they're no longer even communicating now. Some of the children, the sign language is not there. They can't sign. Some of the children, if they want to go and use the bathroom, the restroom, you have to think that this child is, So now you are facing a different challenge. So just take us through the challenges, like from the School of the Deaf and coming to a different special needs of School of Autism and severe behavior disorder. What was the challenge that you faced there?
Sure. When I transitioned from teaching learners with a hearing impairment, it was a very difficult one. I won't lie. Yes, I had learners who had maybe a hearing impairment plus ADHD, or so that those are our deaf plus learners who their primary difficulty was the hearing impairment added along with something else. And I had taught a child who was deaf and who was on the spectrum, and I thought, I can do that. But it was just one or two kids in the classroom. And when I got to teach a full class now of kids on the spectrum, I was thrown in the deep end. And I thought, wow, where do I start? What do I touch? What do I leave? What do I do? So I won't lie, the challenges were immense, and I just had to make something of it, And I remember sitting and thinking, do I leave? What do I stay? What do I do with myself, I remember in high school, in one of our assemblies, our principal told us a little story, and he said there was a child whose father was a chef. And one day the father called the child into the kitchen and said, right, over here we have an egg, we have a potato, and we have coffee beans. So he said, my daughter, when we put a potato in boiling hot water, it goes in hard and it comes out soft.
Yes.
Right? If we're going to take an egg and put it in boiling water, it goes in soft because you crack it and that's that, but it comes out hard. Right? And then with coffee beans, if you put it in boiling water, it changes the whole situation. It changes the color of the water. And then I decided that, hey, this is time for me to be the coffee bean.
Exactly.
I need to change the environment and make it work for me and the kids, and make it viable for me and the kids. So I had to change my mindset and become that coffee bean so that I can give service to the kids and do well for the kids.
So now you are coming into a class where it's difficult to communicate. What kind of resources did you use that helped you to be able to teach a child with the spectrum?
So now I had gone on some workshops before where we were doing Macathon and using other assistive devices, And when you are in those workshops, you see it in your mind, you see it working in the classroom, until you get to the classroom and you're like, oh, I thought it was really simple, but it's actually not as simple as it is presented.
Yeah.
With ASD learners, we need to really know our kids individually.
Yeah.
There's no blanket approach there. You really need to get to know them so that you are able to deliver what you need to deliver, so that you are able to protect them in the way that you need to protect them, and you are able to assist them in the way that you need to assist those learners.
Wow, interesting journey indeed, Ms. Thozama. Yo. From fashion to the kids who are using a different language. I mean, I'm picturing myself now going to China and everyone is speaking in Chinese. I'll be so confused, and at some point I would get so frustrated. You know?
Funny enough, I've been to China, and you get to China, you get to know the language. Somewhere, somehow. Yeah.
As long as you've got the basics.
As long as
if there is something that is inspiring you, you will keep going. You will do your research. I love the fact that you are also using your, like, for example, your principal said this, said that. I mean, your background, your foundation of how you take things from the past to work for you in your future, it's really great. So this does show that what we say to our children now as a teacher, it builds them or it breaks them.
Definitely.
There's a lot that I want us to talk about. We just have to go to the break and then and unpack because I want to know more. I want to know more. You've got a very interesting journey. So we'll see you just after the current affairs RCSK's segment. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Hi everyone, so we are Women's Ministry from CRC Church here in Johannesburg, and we have got an initiative that we are running this year called Breaking Barriers, which is really for us trying to create awareness for children with autism and special needs. And seeing that it is Autism Month, we did a bit of our research and we found that 1 in 100 children get affected with autism, and we thought that it was really important for us to be able to go out there and to really soar into the lives of not just children but also the teachers that are there giving off of their time every single day to be able to welcome these kids into everyday life, to teach them, to help them walk this journey. So we are here today at Randburg Clinic School to be able to just minister to the teachers, encourage them, pray for them, just really pour into them as they pour into others. So we hope that today is going to be a fantastic initiative, that it's going to be welcomed really, really well, and that we'll be able to make a difference in the lives of everyone that we connect with today. Thank you. We just want to thank you for the opportunity. We just want to spend a few minutes with you this morning. And we are here from CRC, Christian Revival Church, on behalf of our pastor, Pastor At. And we want to come and tell you about our church and what we are doing in the month of autism, the Autism Awareness Month. So we started a campaign because we saw that there really is a need out there, that 1 in 100 individuals are diagnosed with autism. So as a church, we really saw the need to support not just the children, but the families and the relatives and the teachers that work with these special needs children. So we started a campaign that is called the Breaking Barriers campaign. And in this campaign, it is all about creating awareness and inclusion, promoting inclusion of individuals with special needs. But today we are here to thank each and every one of you for the passion and the dedication that you have towards these children. You pour out your lives every day into the lives of these children, and we really pray that as you empty your cups, pouring into their lives, that God will really fill your cups with everything that you need. So we want to honor you. We want to thank you for everything that you do for these children. We really pray that as you hold on to God, that He will sustain you through your journey with working with these special needs children. We pray that His Holy Spirit will lead and guide you on this journey. And we just want to thank you really from the bottom of our hearts that you are really molding and shaping these children for their futures. Okay, so our Breaking Barriers campaign also includes our support group. So we have a support group for teachers. So if you would like to join the support groups, you can just fill out one of these forms. So what we do on these support groups, we actually call them our empowerment groups, is we really support the teachers, and we want to walk this journey with you. We want to encourage you on a weekly basis, because we feel like the kids always get the attention, but what about the families and the teachers? So we are here to support you in this journey. And then we also have a Moms of Miracles support group. So that is for the mothers of these children. So if you walk a close journey with some of these parents, please do tell them about our support group. That support group is also there to support the moms that obviously have to deal with these special needs children, the miracles that they were blessed with. And then we also have our Special Friends Kids Church program that is on Sundays. So these kids, we invite them to come to church and they do a whole program with them. And we have volunteers that have been trained to also work with our special friends on Sundays at Kids Church. But we are here today that we want to really just tell you, like I said, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for imparting into the lives of these children. And then we want to pray with each and every one of you. So if you have special prayer requests, please go to our beautiful ladies over here. We want to pray with you and we want to give you a gift to bless you and to say thank you. So thank you for your time this morning.
Welcome back to the Empowerment Hour. I'm Anita Molebati, and thank you for joining us on Kofifi FM 97.2. If you've missed us, we are having a very interesting topic. We are joined by Miss Thozama, who's talking about her teaching journey in special needs education. Maybe today I would learn a few things. Miss Thozama, yes. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And yeah, Miss Thozama, we talk before the break. We talk about me being in a different country, not understanding anything. So I don't know anything about sign language. Okay. I just know the basics as well. I also got lucky to work at a special school. So I don't do sign language. I mean, I had to learn Makaton because it was quicker for me. It helped me in the class with the kiddies. So now, how do I say thank you for joining us on Kofifi FM? Next time when I greet someone, at least I will say thank you for joining us, and I'll also use a different language using my hands.
Okay, let's start with thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You hold one hand out, one hand on the chin.
Okay, like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I've got it. I've got it. And then, thank you for joining us.
Funny enough, as we were going through with the production crew, I was like, what's the sign name for, the name for Kofifi? Yeah. Because, for example, if you say ShopRite, this would be the sign for ShopRite.
Oh. Like one word, one
this
sign.
Is ShopRite. Yeah, ShopRite.
Oh, okay.
So we need one for Kofifi.
For Kofifi.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, then you would
using the alphabets.
Yeah, you would. So K.
K.
O. F. I. F. I. Kofifi. Yeah.
Woo! I think we need to find just that one.
We need to find that one sign.
That's why I loved Makaton, because for me to tell a child to sit down, I would have to, to do all this, and then I would just sit down.
Yes,
I'm done.
And it's done.
Wait, toilet. So it becomes easy, but it is very interesting.
Yeah. And it actually speaks to how specific our learners are. With that's how well we need to know our learners. With our deaf learners, we can really go in depth with the signing. Hence, then we would have Makaton, which makes it easier and is more simplified for our kids on the spectrum, and that's what they would understand.
Just one word, and then they understand. It is so interesting. Miss Thozama, maybe when you read the previous reports of the kids, I mean, when you get a new class, you get the journey of the child as well, like a file where you read the child couldn't do 1, 2, 3, especially in the spectrum, and probably you were also in the high spectrum when you arrived, right?
Yes.
What is that one thing that you achieved in a child that it took a child for so long? But as a teacher who have passion, and you're like, I'm not going to give up on this child. There's this thing that I want to achieve and make sure that the child gets it. And what's that thing, that remarkable thing that the child achieved, and it brought a smile on your face, and you felt like, I did it for this child.
You know, when you talk about that one remarkable thing, I think it more of our kids being more remarkable than for us serving them in the way that we do. And I say this because I have learned so much more from them.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we try to enforce what we know and what we know, how things need to be done. And we want to enforce it onto them.
Yeah.
But once you stop enforcing things and you take a step back and you look at this child and you study this child, you'll find that there is so much more within this particular child, you know. There are a number of things that I have achieved with them, but moreover I feel like they have done so much more for me, and I've picked up so much more from them. For instance, I have started teaching the children who are on the spectrum archery. And some of them, as they shoot, they get discouraged or they miss or whatever, you know. And I said to the one child, come on, you can focus, you can do better. And the other child said, ma'am, he managed to, you know, pull the target right, you know. And he was saying to this child, you know, well done for that you know, at least your arrow went through. And I was like, yeah, we really need to be able to see ourselves in these kids' shoes and be able to analyze and get to know them, because there are so much more that they see beyond what we see. But within the classroom and academics, there are a number of things. At the beginning of the year, you find a child is at a certain position and you find yourself teaching one thing over and over and over again. But for me, that's where the creativity plays a huge role, where you actually need to find that, you know what, this child, I want them to get this, and how do I go about making sure that they get this, understanding the type of person that they are, and so forth, so that they finally get that goal that we are going for. So I can't really pinpoint a specific one, but my point really here is that these kids are more remarkable than I am. They are able to do far much more than what I can do, and once we get to know them and figure them out, there is so much more we can do collaboratively with them.
Yeah, man, very interesting indeed. I'm looking at your challenges, and I know that there are teachers out there who don't know how to do certain things. They are struggling. At the end of the day, we are human beings. It does get overwhelming. Have you ever faced a moment when you get home and be like, yeah, this day was just too much, and all you want to do is to cry, to sit in the water, or is to find someone and vent? Has it ever come to that point? But tomorrow you wake up and be like, I'm going back because this is what I want to do.
In my first year, that happened. I was beaten up by a child and I went home.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, is this really it? Do I really want to be here? And that's where the coffee bean story then came up, you know. And the next morning, I decided that, or it came to my attention that no, take that step back, analyze this child, get to know this child, you know. And you'll be able to work so much more, so much better with that child. So those moments have come, to be honest. And when they do occur again, fortunately where I work, there are a lot of staff members that you can do a little debriefing with, you know, speak to them and say, hey, listen, this is the challenge that I've had, you know, I've had it, I can't, you know. And there are people who are really there to uplift you and remind you of why you are here. And if I'm not here, who else is going to be here for these kids? If the staff that I'm working with now had to say tomorrow, no, I am not going to do this, who are they supposed to be with? Who is supposed to nurture these lovely souls that we have? in our hands, you know.
So now you have to deal with meltdowns. You have to deal with tantrums, and it was something new to you. Even if it happened previously where you come from, but this one is different.
Yeah.
It also comes with hitting and pushing. How do you handle that? Like, I'm looking at you right now because I'm sure you also work with bigger kids. Have you ever had to work with bigger kids that are bigger than you, like physically?
My first class were big kids, big boys, taller than me. Initially, I used to run.
Hi, run and call out for help.
Initially, I used to run and call for help.
Yeah.
And eventually, when I found my feet and learned how to work with my kids and understand my kids, my trick now is to identify when a child wants to communicate something to me.
Yes.
I need to identify that crucial time when they want, whether it's a toilet or whether their food is set in a certain way, and to fix that issue first before it even leads to a meltdown.
Okay.
So once I know those signs that this child will start tapping or banging something, then something is coming up. It means that it doesn't mean the child is naughty or being unruly. I have learned that there is something that is annoying this child, or this child has some sort of need. This child simply needs their apple to be cut into 4 pieces. When they start tapping, then I know, look around the environment, oh, okay, there's this, that. It means that this child is in need of this. And I attend to it immediately before I start a marathon.
Yo, I'm imagining you running away and say, help, help, help.
Yeah, it was hectic.
It was, I'm sure. I'm sure. And then today we are sitting here laughing about it.
We are laughing
but
about it.
But it was a learning experience, learning curve, in fact. Okay, ma'am. And then you moved from autism to SPD. Now that the communication is different, they are verbal, they can actually speak, but the behavior is severe. They swear, they push, they fight with one another, you know, they lie. There's a lot that's going on, you know, and now there's you. How do you adjust? Like, let's just talk about you arriving into the new thing now, SPD. Yes, it's within the same a place. It's something that you used to see from far. Now you are inside.
From far away, you know, I'd ask our SPD teachers, how are you managing? You know, I was like feeling so sorry for them. You know, are you guys okay? And I thought, do you know what? If I was in this department, honestly, I would be going mad. There is no ways I could survive in this environment. And again, I was thrown into the deep end. I had no choice but to swim. And I got there, and it was not as bad as it looked from the outside.
From the outside.
It wasn't as bad as it looked from the outside. We need to remember that these are souls that have been put into our hands. Yes. We need to take care of them. We need to nurture them regardless of the conditions that they are challenged with, you know. And these are conditions that they haven't chosen for themselves. And that's just the way they are. So now what do? We need to work with these children. We need to find some sort of way with our SPD kids. And there were moments where, again, I went home thinking, no, I cannot do this. You know, different incidents happen at different times, at any time. Anything can happen. You just need to stay alert and make sure that you are together with the kids. But one thing that I have come to realize with these kids, because of some of the circumstances or some of the conditions that they have, love is what they need. They need constant love. They need positive energy constantly. They need to hear the positive words about themselves. They need to hear good things about themselves. They need to hear that, you are such a brave boy. They need to hear you are such a good boy.
Wow.
Oh, you are so strong, my boy. I don't have any muscles, I don't have the muscles that you have. Look at you. And you find that these kids are remarkable.
Wow.
And there are so many things that they can do.
Wow, ma'am, I feel like I still want to unpack on that topic. Yeah, SBD. Not everyone understands it the same, including other teachers, especially if you look at it from far.
Yeah.
So let's hold that thought. And we'll continue just after this. Please stay tuned and do not go anywhere as we continue with Ms. Thozama talking about her journey in special needs education. And now we are going to the sports segment. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned.
My name is Thalen Furner. I am a member of the Randburg Clinic School chess team. Chess helps me think clearly and stay calm. Every move has a purpose, and it teaches me to plan, focus, and be patient. When I play, I can take my time to think and make good choices. Chess also helps me understand patterns and solve problems. And it feels great when I win or even just improve. It's not just a game. It's a way to train my mind, build confidence, and have fun while learning.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I am Anita Molabati. I am still joined in by Ms. Thozama, who is talking about her journey in special needs education as an educator. Thank you for joining us, and if you haven't joined us, please go to our YouTube pages and you will find this full show in there. Ms. Thozama, thank you. Oh, Ms. Thozama, I need to learn that. It is a very interesting language.
It's very
I need to learn it. I need to learn it. From today, I'm taking lessons. I'm taking lessons. I should. So since now you are doing this with me, is it something that you also include with SBD, sign language?
Funny enough, sometimes, some of them get distracted a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to throw in something fun or something that they don't know of, and that will keep them up and, wow, man, what is that? Because now we need to engage in this lesson. And if their mind is quick to go somewhere else, you find your ways to bring them back here. So sometimes I would say, okay, whose name am I finger spelling? And now they must pay attention because it's something new, something interesting to them. And then once they've guessed, oh, it's so-and-so's name, right, we continue with whatever lesson we were engaging in before.
Okay. Teaching children with SBD, I think it's different from ASD because they are verbal. They most of them can understand what you are saying. But I believe there are challenges, especially in some with English, some with maths and counting, because most people think because they are verbal, then they know everything. But there are challenges and difficulties that they face as children. What are some of the challenges that they face, and how do you work around them just to help them?
A lot of the challenges, again, it goes back to reading. Previously, I mentioned about our deaf learners being able to read a word but not comprehending. I think we find the very same thing within our SBD learners. And luckily, because I've had that experience that I've had before where I had to think on my toes and be creative at all times, it is something that I am implementing within this department. Now, these kids, unfortunately, they are the kind of kids who would usually mock each other, tease each other if somebody's expected to read out aloud or something. You know, you need to find ways to make sure that they are not mocked, you know. And you sit there, you read with a child, they will read, and if you can see that there's a word that they are not getting, you kind of slip in that word for them, and they naturally continue with what they are reading. Making sure that they are, remember I spoke about positive words, reaffirmation to them, not making funny comments or mocking them about the things that they cannot do. So I find different ways to slip in things here and there just so that other people don't notice, you know. And with our SBD kids, you have to play a lot of mind games, you know, and once you understand them and get to know the kind of way you need to communicate with them so that they are not oppressing each other or thinking negatively of each other, it makes your job far much more easier. And the way that you read as a teacher also plays a big role to them. If you're going to read in just one tone, in a monotonous tone, it's very difficult for them to understand what you are saying. But if you use your voice and you use different variations just by reading that one sentence, something rings a bell in their minds. So for me, so far, that's how I work around with them.
You said previously when we opened the show that you are from the fashion industry. How do you think that fashion industry, do you hoit nyana ngapha education or kuma special needs, like, it's now uThozama we fashion industry akasekho?
I think what I have taken from there is the ability to think on your feet, the ability to pick up something and turn it into something else at that very moment. If you are working, for instance, backstage at a fashion show, a zip pops and in a few seconds the model must be on the ramp. You need to make sure that something happens there so that the dress is fitting and everything looks good as they go onto the ramp. That is a skill of thinking on your feet and making sure that you deliver what you are supposed to deliver. So the one skill that I'm currently using from my previous profession is definitely that, just thinking on my feet and make sure that you get through to what needs to be delivered.
Just shortly and briefly, a teacher who is struggling, who's thinking that I want to quit, I can't do this, what would be that word of encouragement, just shortly before we close the show?
I do speak to a lot of young educators, and where I am at the moment, they are very young, and sometimes you do find that they are discouraged and disgruntled and feel like, maybe I should be doing something else or going somewhere else. And for me, what I usually tell them is that, guys, in this life, there are problems everywhere. There are challenges everywhere. This world is made for challenges and problems. And it's not for you to sit back and have a pity party and feel like, I can't do this. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you're going to have that mentality. They need to know that, okay, this is the challenge that I am currently facing. How do I overcome that challenge in a positive manner that's going to give them a positive feedback? So challenges are always there. You're always going to come across them. You just need to know, how do I tackle this in the best way possible and in the most positive way possible?
All right. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Thozama, and interesting journey indeed. I hope this is really gonna, be educational to our viewers and listeners at home. Thank you for taking your time and coming to join us on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. And please, if you miss the show, you've just joined us, you can find this full show on our YouTube channel, or you can also find us on Randburg Clinic School Facebook. We're also there on our Instagram, and also catch us on our TikTok channel where you can see us where we do fun. I am Anita Molebati, and this is Kofifi FM, where it all begins.